Josh.
Did I do it? Oh, I did it! Yay!
You did it. Josh has too many buttons.
I have so many buttons. Folders within folders within folders.
You know those movies that like where you sitting there and there's like you're doing like NORAD missile defense and there's like 8 billion buttons. Josh has 5 and it's too many for him, but it's okay.
What are you talking about? There's so many more buttons on this thing.
But we are.
It's not the XL.
Moose. You guys, ladies out there, you hear that? Josh says it isn't XL, so just keep that in mind. But we are Murder Moose. We are part of the Slash and Cast podcast network.
It's in the game,
and we're back. Kintinue couldn't be here tonight, but Katie Peters, our shark expert, is here.
Shark expert is like a very
no. Look at what you're wearing. Look what she's wearing. Yeah, shark expert.
Okay,
expert.
I'll take it. Expert is loosely attached to the end there. Shark fan, shark connoisseur.
Katie, can you do me a small favor and tell me what your community is called?
Space sharks.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, that poster I did. That was a long time ago.
Oh, it's a cool poster.
Yeah. So you are a shark aficionado. Is that a better term?
Yeah, that seems better. I feel like I don't want anyone coming to me being like, what about the gills on this specific shark? You know, I might not be able to help with that.
Maybe they'll come to you and ask you what happens when a shark loses all its teeth and decides to chew on a bunch of Christmas ornaments to make new teeth instead.
Well, I did some research on that by watching Santa Jaws.
This discussion is going to be something amazing because I have never said, why is there a Disney Channel horror movie that's also a Christmas movie that is also like PG except
but for real, was it actually? Like the score really made me think that it was 100.
It was on Sci-Fi, right? And then also I think it is just rated PG, which is wild to me.
Wow. Oh, he's gone. He's gone again. Look
he's
at
gone
him
again.
Go. He's
to the void.
At this though.
I'm pretty sure it's rated PG. I actually have IMDb pulled up. Yeah, TV PG. So it's.
I don't understand with the gore how that's the case.
Well,
but
it's it was very bad CGI, but
it is.
It was because it is definitely written and produced in the realm of like, this is going to live on Disney Plus, or for me, I kept thinking YTV, like that's a Canadian thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this is like old school, actually not even as creepy as like the original Are You Afraid of the Dark series and the original Goosebumps series. That stuff literally kind of was creepy sometimes, but it still was that like for kids stuff. So this one felt in the same realm for sure.
It reminds me of like things like Halloween Town and the Mummy Under Wraps movie.
Even with the dismemberment and the limbs floating under the water.
Okay.
They all die the exact same though. Oh crap!
They really, yeah,
and then the bubbles come up. Oh no!
There was what was the death count in this film? At least 7.
Actually, if you want to go back and technically, if you go back to the Krampus before the Krampus ending, it's not that many. But I have a curiosity.
There's a Krampus in what? Huh?
The ending of this movie is Krampus, man. Where like, you know how he wakes up in his bed and his whole family's there,
right.
and it's just like that's what it reminded me of. But I have a question about that when we actually dive into this movie. That will go okay. But Katie's returned, and I think the last time you came on, you talked about The Fly with us as we adventured into a non-shark movie with you.
That's true.
Yeah,
I forgot about The Fly. I remember
actually
Sharks
forgot
of the
about
Corn.
It's burnt into our freaking brains.
Yeah.
And that was even the first movie we did. We've done 3 shark movies. This is number 4 now.
Oh yeah, that like
Sky Sharks was number 1. Mm-hmm. And then the really
we
terrible
set the bar, and we thought it was like not that great, but then we were like, wow, Sky Sharks was awesome in comparison to everything shark related that we've done. It's still the best one.
It is.
I still think it's hysterical because I was like, that movie opened up with the tits on the airplane, and I'm like, oh, Katie is coming on the podcast with us for her first time, and there are like tits on an airplane that are just opening this up, and I'm just like,
Wait, Katie,
Here's a
you're like
here's a
PG, right?
grindhouse. No.
no,
No, you're not.
but I
I'm
will tell
like-
you,
You go ahead.
I was gonna say you were more PG when you started coming
Way
on
back
the
then,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, when I
That was like 10 years ago.
10 years ago, like when I first started
When you farted.
when I first started Twitch, listen, I combined two words. I didn't curse, like I wouldn't say like bad words on my stream because I had only watched like one stream at that point, and that other person didn't do that. So I just didn't think you did that on Twitch. And then I pulled up somebody else, and they were talking about all sorts of things, and I was like, oh. But then I felt bad because my community knew me as someone who would say like frack instead of. Can I curse on this podcast? Is that?
Are you
that
fucking kidding me?
Okay, instead of fuck, and then I'm very much not a PG streamer anymore.
Katie, how well do you know me? The man who's known on Twitch for talking about eating ass. Yes, you could say.
He goes down sometimes a tangent that I'm like, I don't even know if YouTube likes this stuff, but it's staying in. Whatever.
I mean, we don't have enough followers on YouTube for it to matter.
Yes,
Josh.
exactly.
So,
But you
Well,
can also
Rod-
check off not made for kids. So there you go.
Yeah, Rod rolled up to my stream once and was talking about the Eiffel Tower.
so
That does
now
not
I had
surprise
an
me.
educational clip for me to watch.
Well,
as well.
So at this point now,
Oh,
I
goodness.
every time I raid Gothic mess, it's like Eiffel Towers. Like I just talk about Eiffel Towers because Gothic is the most like Katie appropriate mod of all time until like he gets frustrated over something and then he swears like a sailor, but it's pretty funny in the in between. So
Or an
Gothic
Eiffel
is-
Tower raid
is-
seems very
off.
on brand for Rod.
yeah, it is true. I mean, dude, I've never, ever in my now dude, I just had my 6-year affiliate anniversary on Twitch, which is fucking bonkers. But
My account on Twitch is 13 years old.
yeah,
Dang.
I
I think
mean,
mine's 9 years, I think.
Zeke's been having for the last year plus having 100 month subs, which is just like 10 years or
Oh.
whatever. Not 10 years, like 9 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, it's a long fucking time, man. And it's just like it, and it's that like, as we live in a world where Twitch is ever like, you know, changing and evolving, we just had.
I feel like it's finally like anyone can say what they want, but I feel like some of the changes that are coming, it feels like they're listening a little more lately.
Yeah,
they're implementing a few more things that I feel like it's like, wow, I think people have been asking for this for a long time. Thank you, finally. That's great.
Yeah. We can actually ban people and they can't. I mean, they'll just make another account, but like they doing little things like that. They're just like, oh, okay, you're actually trying and listening, and
Yeah.
you know, it's at least helpful.
Do they have IP bans or not yet?
I don't think they do yet. I don't know. I don't ban a lot of people. I don't have to like.
I take such long breaks that I ban people by doing that.
Banning by
Because then
giving
they just
them-
forget about me. And then, you know,
Twitch is tough. It's a hard place. You have to be there because I know like if you take extended like vacations, I feel like people they just disperse and move on to other things. It's like so scary to take any sort of break on Twitch because you're like,
But
they're like,
I-
we want you to take a break. We'll be here, and some of them will, but there's always some of the ones
Dude.
that won't be. So it's
Dude.
so scary coming back from taking time off for your mental health or life or a vacation, and then feeling like you gotta start
So-
I had
over or
to.
start building.
but I took
again.
it completely. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't on the platform to consume or to anything, right? So I literally I forgot about it. So I assumed everyone else forgot about me too, and it was true. So it's all good.
Oh. I'm sure some people would like, hey, where's Josh? I miss Josh's drumming. And
Yeah.
so there's always going to be somebody out there.
Dude, I took 2 weeks off in October for TwitchCon and everything like that. I came back and it was the first time in years I hadn't hit the it used to be $100 minimum, for like getting payout from Twitch. I mean, it's not, it's like $50 anymore. And I still got paid out, but it was at like 50 something dollars. I'm like, holy shit.
It's also like right now is a tough time too. And, Twitch is always trying to monetize everything. And so I always go, it's not, I don't know. Twitch is changing. I'm really curious what the trajectory is going to be for it.
I just don't want any type of advertising on mine. I don't have enough people to advertise to, especially when I'm playing a song. And if it's something that they've requested, then they have like all of a sudden an ad that takes up their whole request. It's really like I've tried turning it off completely and it won't. And people are like, this is obnoxious. That's all I think.
There's pre-rolls. Yeah, and like I found out recently, and I feel like I should know more about this stuff than I do, but 3 minutes of ads an hour disable pre-rolls. And I believe pre-rolls can't be disabled unless you roll the 3 minutes of ad per hour. And I'm really bad about being like, I'm going to take a break and like play ads, because I also don't want to play ads for people. That's not fun to watch ads.
I usually only stream for just over an hour, or if it is a good stream, then it's like 2 hours, because I'm playing a live set. And that is so fucking tiring, because I'm going hard. Like whenever I played in a live band, it would be like a 40-minute set and you were dead for the rest of the night. I'm doing it for 2 hours now. I'm like, ugh.
Dude, I still laugh. I don't know if I told you about this, Josh. When I went and saw Ice Nine Kills and Motionless in White, not Motionless in White, it was Falling in Reverse was the headliner, even though I don't like Falling in Reverse and the lead singer is an asshole. But their opening band was this band called Catch Your Breath. And they had this fat Asian dude was their drummer. And he it's like 5:30 in Colorado in the middle of the summer. So the sun is just like blasting this motherfucker. Yeah. I've never seen a more miserable drummer in my entire life. It's like, and I'm like, dude, how are you such a fat drummer? How is any drummer fat?
One of my good friends was a big drummer, but I just got a new set. Check it out. Did you see it? Look at all these freaking drums.
Wow.
It's a lot of drummers. Wow. A lot of drummers, a lot of drums.
I love it.
Oh shit, man. So Katie, in your meantime of your current, I know you are currently recording a new season of Katie Hasn't Seen That. Are there any horror movies in this season?
Let me look so far.
You don't have to tell us titles.
Oh, last time you were on, you said you had just watched Hackers, but you could not talk to me about it because you hadn't put out the episode. Yeah. What did you think of my favorite movie of all time?
I don't think Katie was very kind to it, Josh. I'll give you that.
I feel like it's because I didn't watch it growing up. Yes. And so
it's so nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
And
I have movies like that too. But I felt like bad because as I was reviewing it, I was like, I tried so hard to like it, but it was fine. Like
it is so unapologetically 90s.
Yeah.
Like, it is right there.
I was just confused about is there like an underground like hacker society at most high schools? Like,
oh, come on. In the early 90s.
I mean, now there's I have a mod, Zoe, who goes to Vegas for hacking conventions. But yeah, in the 90s, it was more of a mythical.
That's how you get jobs at Facebook and stuff now, hackathons. I have a few clients that literally shut down for 3 days for hackathons because they're creating that type of content and everything, and it's to make sure that there is no holes in places that there should be or whatever.
Interesting. I feel like Hackers wasn't bad. I know what I like about Katie Hasn't Seen That is it gives me context for all these movies people quote all the time, like Hack the Planet and things like that. I'm like, I get it now. Even if I don't. Yeah, the execution might not be exactly what I love, but yes, I do have
anything Matthew Lillard. Come on, he's so
I do
good.
like Matthew Lillard. Did you probably watch Five Nights at Freddy's and did an episode?
Oh yeah,
I gotta listen to that one.
We didn't do the episode, but we both watched it.
You both watched it.
Yeah, I went to the theaters just to watch it with a whole bunch of kids. Apparently, it was just nothing but kids.
How was it? I heard the theater experience could have been pretty rough for Five Nights.
No, it was good. Like, you know, I do a random thing because like my girlfriend gets off work at the mall, that the movie theater that I go to, at like, you know, 9:15 or something. So it's like the perfect time for me to like, what am I doing tonight? I'm done work. I'll just go to the mall and grab something to eat and check out a movie by myself because it ends right when I'm about to like pick her up from work. So I'm already there. I was like, I'll just check this out. And it was a tame like Thursday evening at 7 in the evening. So it's like, yeah, you're not going to like have a crazy crowd or anything. But yeah,
I had seen some TikToks that seemed a little bit rough for the experience if there was like a super fan of Five Nights group there. But that happened with Twilight in college. My roommate dragged me to Twilight, and I was not aware of the Twilight phenomenon at that time. And that was an experience just because there was swooning every time a new character came on screen. It was an interesting time.
I don't think anything has ever beaten me going to a Sunday matinee showing of Magic Mike, like at a $5 theater on a Sunday.
I went. I didn't know there was like a meme, a TikTok thing happening with the Minions movie, but all of a sudden I went to the newest one right when it came out with like this girl I was seeing, and all these kids were dressed up in suits, but they were all just wreaking havoc in the theater and just like they're like throwing stuff at us. And I was like, what the hell? Like, you guys look so good, but you're being such assholes. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like, but you look amazing. Like,
it's why I don't like going to any theater that isn't Alamo, because I think the last.
Well, I was
dates
seeing
went out,
Minions.
my ex
like,
was like fucking The Exorcist movie, and there were like teenagers being horny fucks in the middle of the theater, and it was just like,
God.
I hate it. I hate it all. I hate it so badly.
Well, when I saw Smile, it was a bunch of kids just like on their phone, like literally like having a conversation on the phone, and then like walking down and like throwing stuff and not stopping talking the entire time. I moved seats to get away from it. I'm like, this is so terrible. Like, what? But that movie was so good. So good.
I would lose it.
Yeah, Smile was better. It was better than I thought, but it felt very A24 without it being an A24 film. And
I mean,
yeah. I definitely agree with that.
I'd like Katie to see Talk to Me and see what she thinks of that.
That is A24.
Yeah, I've heard such mixed things about Talk to Me. People either love it or hate it. And so,
really? It's a cilantro thing?
It seems like, at least people I've talked to, they're like, I don't know, like it's a cool concept, but it could have.
Dude, there are some scenes in that movie that are just make you go.
I haven't heard the opposite. Everyone that I know personally and have talked to about it, we're all like, I'm completely obsessed with it, but everyone I know is really, really loved it. So I don't know the opposite.
Yeah, it's on my list. I feel like this is in December. I always feel like I should be watching Christmas films, and I end up just watching horror films. Like all these. Did you all watch the new Netflix? And you guys might be doing an episode on this. I can't remember. Leave the World Behind. It's not technically a horror film, but it's got Julia Roberts in it and Ethan Hawke. And I watched that last night, and I was enthralled the entire time. So I'd be curious to hear.
No, I haven't watched it yet, but that one is on my watch list.
Yeah, it was
looks
pretty good.
Did you dive into No One Will Save You, Katie? Because I'm the Hulu alien abduction movie with like 2 words in it.
I watched it. I actually kind of liked it. I thought the ending was a little
it was fun.
goofy.
Yeah.
It was like a fun abduction movie because I think they filmed it during the strike because of the not having much dialogue, no writers kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
they could have drawn it out and made it like actually a really creepy thing. Like, because the trailer drew out the home invasion part longer than they actually did in the real movie. And I was like, I was like, oh my God, that looks super creepy. Like, if it's going to have that vibe. And the trailer had the vibe and the movie did not. And I was like, damn it. Because it changes too quickly to like action adventure movie rather than that horror like vibe that it had.
The creeping dread. It was very Body Snatchers too, which is fine, but it's not what I expected from it.
the ending is odd. I was watching a video on What Culture's YouTube page yesterday. It was like about recent movies that got ruined by their endings, and I don't even know if I watched the whole thing. But two of the movies were Cobweb and No One Will Save You, and I was just like, oh, okay, I can see that because the ending of that movie, No One Will Save You, is very, very strange, and also feels like
it's like Twilight Zone type stuff, which I was totally into because of the way the movie went and stuff. And it's almost like she found a way to accept but still be an actual human and be there. She's present, but this is exactly what she wanted, which is even kind of more fucked up. So I think that's kind of a fun ending. I don't know.
It was
But I'm
interesting. Yeah, no, I liked the ending, but it was also kind of like you remove the realness from it when that ending kind of kicks in. Like, if there was any sort of like, is this going to happen to me? Which obviously it wouldn't. But it is like more fantastical and
She's like,
takes away the
I don't
fear.
like Alien, but
Yeah.
I like everything else you're doing.
So let's
I'm
keep
into
this
it.
party going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was different than I expected, but it was much better than a lot of alien abduction movies I've seen. So I don't know.
there's a lot of bad ones because alien abduction. It's like I remember you playing that one of the last really shitty that. Didn't you play some alien abduction movie or game on your stream a couple months back? That was just like
I played a really good one, and then I played a really bad one. I
I
can't
remember the really bad one.
The really bad one felt like it
Do you
wasted.
get scared like playing games? I
Not
haven't
like I
successfully
used to.
actually been. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I feel like I'll get jump scared sometimes, but I feel like I can anticipate it a lot.
Yeah.
And now in movies too, because I've played so many horror games, I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna do that. And then if they do something different, I'm like, ooh, they got me. Because
Smile
normally I
got
can see
me
it.
a couple times.
Did it?
Like, because there's like weird ones that I didn't see coming. Like I think the one, I don't know. There was a
The
couple
one
scares
outside
where
the
I
car
was, just
was
like, oh,
the
shit,
crazy
fuck.
one, where because the person's neck broke in that weird way to go. Like
I
had
saw
their
it in
head,
the
like,
trailer and was
Yeah.
totally into
That's
it.
what. Why do you watch the trailers, Josh? We've gone over this.
Trailers
Okay.
show too much, but there's something I used to love watching trailers as a kid, and I feel like they do too much now. Like they'll have a trailer go on for 2 minutes, and it could easily end at 1 because then they're like, let's jump into the second act and tell you what
Like-
happens halfway through the movie.
Like all the Fast 10 trailers, it was the entire movie. It was
Yeah.
literally the entire movie.
I think they showed the.
It's not
Yeah,
like
I think
it
they
really
showed the
matters,
car.
but still.
Yeah, they showed the car jumping off the dam at the literal last scene in that movie.
You
in those
can't show
trailers.
third act things in a trailer. Come on. Like first act, maybe tiny
How
bits of second
often-
act, but never third
how-
act. Come on.
How often do you see the things in trailers that are literally like final shots of movies? kind of
Yes.
stuff. It's like
Yeah.
it happens all the fucking time now. So,
Mhm.
and speaking of movies, let's dive in to this
Are you afraid of the dark? Santa Jaws.
Santa Jaws from what year is it from? 2018. Which only
this
has
movie
a
is
4,
so 2018.
Mhm.
It has a 4 out of 10 on IMDb, and I don't know what the critics were thinking, but let's go.
No,
into it.
I
And it
agree.
reads-
Come on. It's not that.
I'm saying it should have been like a 6 out of 10, Josh. This is epic cinema. I'm gonna read the synopsis to everyone. And it says, trying to survive his family Christmas, Cody makes a wish to be alone, which ends up backfiring when a shark manifests and kills his entire family. Okay, 1, that's bullshit because his entire family doesn't get killed. 2, this motherfucking movie, when they went into the Home Alone, even they like have the generic Home Alone montage music, and they're like making traps for the shark. I'm like, you motherfuckers are like, there's no shame here. You're just trying to rip off.
I feel like this whole bit is actually something from Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like I've seen this exact like, oh, I drew something and then it came to life and now it's killing everyone. Oh crap.
I don't even know how to like this movie was just not what I thought it was when you're like, oh, Santa Jaws, and then he's like, I got a magic pen and I draw comic books, and now there's an evil shark that's killing my entire family. It does feel cartoony, but it still felt like a movie. Like it didn't feel like I know I don't always mean to bring up Sharks to the corn.
No, we bring it up all the time in this place.
Yeah, the
But, like,
bar is set.
The bar
And
is
you were
set.
there.
I think maybe they were paying homage to Home Alone. Like, look, a little cute thing about Christmas time to take out this shark, and all of them failed terribly. Them pouring eggnog into the water in order to attract the shark. You know how Die Hard is like a Christmas. Some people say it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
And
Yes.
some people say
100%
it's
is.
Christmas adjacent.
Yeah.
Would you say Santa Jaws is a Christmas movie or Christmas adjacent?
100% Christmas
okay.
movie.
I would say Christmas movie also because
It's on
Santa
Christmas, and they're
Jaws
celebrating Christmas.
also wears a Santa hat on its fin, which is
Okay.
like the only, I think the only thing that existed of this shark in real life was a fin that they put the Santa.
I don't
Yeah.
understand how movies like this get made though. Like, because it felt like it was just done on, like, I don't know what camera they used to make things not look cinematic whatsoever.
It was like a TV
like
camera.
Even a phone can make things look cinematic. Like, look at Katie's shot right there. It looks cinematic as fuck. Like, and this movie, not a single shot looked cinematic. Like, there was no bokeh, there was no depth of field, there was no attention to framing, there was no lighting, there was not. It was just flat the entire time, and not a single frame felt cinematic. And I don't understand.
I think there was no cinematographer, Josh. That's what the thing is.
Well, I think this director did a bunch of shark movies too. Like, I'm looking at their resume. They did Shark Island, Ozark Sharks, Mississippi River Sharks. Set for this year, or maybe it came out, Sharksploitation. So it's
Wow.
maybe they just were like, this is the formula we use for making a shark film.
They've done, looks like I see as a director 1, 2, 3, 4 movies with shark in the title. Shark Island, Squad Sharks, Mississippi River Sharks, and Santa Jaws.
Dang. I wonder though. I'm looking to see, because you know how on IMDb you can usually see the whole credit to the crew and everything. I can't find a cinematographer.
I don't think there was one. Like Josh was saying, this movie feels like it is very much like it, because she has editor and director in her like things. So it's like, I will say this right off. I think Josh kind of hit the nail on the head with the Goosebumps kind of thing. And I was watching this yesterday, calling it a Disney Channel horror movie for Christmas, because it is very like, the music reminds me of like Disney Channel things.
So over the top. Like, I don't know what stock site they found this on, but they're like, generic cinematic done. Oh, look it. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Let's just throw that there. It doesn't go whatsoever.
But I will say this, man. This movie might be not a great movie, but I actually had fun with it.
Yes, so did I. It's whimsical enough that it was like, you know what? This all works in the context of this movie, because it's people. I felt like it was just cute, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
I like how cute describes like the mass murder of this. Well, it is.
But
it's like a cute shark movie, because it's
cute.
not. It doesn't feel like the stakes are ever too high.
Yeah.
And the characters were very over the top. I did find a cinematographer. I guess Matt S. Bell did the cinematography for this, but
Sorry, man.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
I feel like they had a fun idea, and then the grandpa dying as the first character was not something I expected, because they went out to go fishing, and like I was shocked when they literally just killed grandpa right out the gate. But didn't he run back to his family, and he's like, hey, it killed grandpa, and they're like, yeah, whatever. They didn't believe him.
That's the thing where the mother is the biggest
Oh my God, I hated her.
She's the gaslightingest bitch in the entire world. You're like, this kid is going to be, as someone who's been fucked up by his own mother in his own fucking life. And like, this kid is going to need so much therapy in 20 years because his mother is like, just telling him, he's like, it's one of those things where it felt like they kind of make this kid like in the script, this like age that they don't really have. And then they hire an actor who's like seems like he's in high school and they're still treating him like he's like a sixth grader or something.
Yeah, totally.
You're grounded. I'm going to take your art supplies away.
I'm like, ugh.
I think it was the family dynamics were interesting because then the uncle came in with his new wife or girlfriend. I don't
It
remember.
was his wife. It was the wife because they're like, you didn't come to the wedding, and they're like, you gave us a week, and it was in Monaco or something.
But some of the stuff felt very over the top, and feel like that made it a little more palatable because I didn't feel like there was just super dramatic scenes interspliced with kind of comedically funny things. So I was like, the tone of the movie felt right the entire time for it was.
Yeah, it's like I said, it feels like things like Under Wraps and like Halloween Town. It's just like that same kind of thing with just a little more blood. And nothing of it's too violent. It's just like occasionally like the shark. Like I think the most fucking violent scene in the movie is when the dude gets his legs chopped off by the boat.
And he's walking on the boat or on the dock at them.
Stumpy.
I'm sitting there going, why are you running on your fucking like stumps? Like that would be extremely painful.
But all the CG was so, I don't even know. It's not even mid. It was like, but the shark didn't look terrible because they were just you know what? It's CG. And what movie were we watching where they just kept cutting to the same like stock footage over and over?
That was the Alicia Silverstone one, whatever the fuck
it's
that
just
was
like,
called.
It didn't matter if the camera was faced this way; it would just cut to the same stock footage going this way. It's like, what the hell?
And that was the movie that like was the most obvious green screen set that you've ever seen in your entire life, and you're just like, guys, I got to tell you this doesn't look good. Like they kind of hid the CG.
Jeez, Mr. Beast did it for real. Why couldn't you?
Maybe they don't have the budget that Mr. Beast does.
Nobody has the budget that Mr. Beast does.
True.
Oh man.
I remember in that movie, I don't even remember the name of that movie. That one is just fallen out of my head.
What was that?
It was nothing memorable.
I kept
those couple things.
No. I kept calling it the wrong thing, like something about anal or something.
I mean, that sounds like this podcast.
I remember the CGI shark in that movie. At the end, they like changed whatever CGI shark, and it looked so much different than the shark that had been chasing her the entire time, and that was really jarring for me.
The requin, the
requin,
rectum?
yeah.
The rectum.
Rectum, barely knew him. No.
The shark was CGI in this, but for some reason I wasn't mad at it. I was like, well, clearly it's like got red glowing eyes, and it's just, it's Santa shark or whatever.
They minimized it, unlike Sharks of the Corn, where they were like, here, look at our shitty CG for the whole movie. I was like, it's funny, like the small differences. That movie felt like it was shot with not real cameras. This movie felt like it was shot with like TV cameras. Like it was like they shot it with that was probably what it was, Josh. They shot it at like 48 frames per second or some shit like that. Like remember
there was
when
too
they
much
made
light always. Like it was there was never anything wrapping. There was always just way too much light all the time. And it just that takes away all cinematics. Lighting is key. Right, Katie? You get it. You understand.
Lighting is important. I'm thinking that because they didn't have many locations either. I noticed it was like the house, the comic book shop,
the dock,
and the dock,
and
because everyone died on that dock.
Everyone died on that dock.
Same bubbles.
I have to ask, was I the only one who was really confused about that opening scene for most of the movie, and then like I finally figured out that it was like part of the comic or something? Or I
that was his daydream. He was like, "Oh, she's hot." I was like,
"Dude, he was right. Wasn't he like drawing? He was drawing a comic book though, so it was like they pulled out, or I don't remember what they did. Yeah, they did that, and then they were like, wasn't he drawing at his desk when that happened?
I think so.
Yeah.
I may have like ADHD.
I got
a little bit.
the dream fade because he was daydreaming about sharks and boobies.
So how did Grandpa get his hands on that pen?
I mean, that would require
Because he's
an
Grandpa.
explanation. Grandpa who looks about 5 years older than the mom and the dad. No, but
He looked kind of like Santa too. I think that may have
Yes.
been intentional.
I mean,
maybe.
he was young. So we watched this Finnish movie called Rare Exports last week, Katie, and there was a lot of Santa wiener in that movie. I mean, a lot of Santa wiener. Like you
Hundreds.
had like hundreds of naked Santa. 100. Oh, it was 190, wasn't it? Santa naked old men running their flaccid penises at the camera at one point, and
Yep. Santa
yeah.
dong.
That's
That's what I
all
call
could
that
think of.
movie. Doesn't matter. What is it called? Doesn't matter. Santa dong. That's what that
Santa
movie's
I've heard
called.
of that movie. I've heard it. Is it good? Is it worth
Oh
watching?
yeah, it was good. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun movie for sure.
It's also very much like there was like this movie where the only reason it's rated R in America
It's
is
because of the dong.
Dong.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah,
there's
it's
no,
pretty much PG if you cut out the dong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I kind of rant about our rating system in America a lot.
Well, I mean, it's a thing like where we're a bunch of fucking overly conservative whack jobs in this country, and the
But not
the
about
human
death.
body. Yeah, no, death is
yeah,
fine.
violence
Yeah.
is fine.
But the human body, oh my god.
I know. Everybody avert your eyes, but watch this thing blow up and all the people inside of it.
I talk about it all the time where as a kid my dad didn't care about me watching like violent movies. Like I watched Under Siege with him, and the only part he covered my eyes is when the lady popped out of the cake naked, the Playboy model.
I haven't
But-
seen that film, but I was the family that they would try to fast forward through all the sex scenes. And it's just like we're still seeing it at like 3 times speed now. So
Then you saw it at real life speed.
but it was like still so awkward. And I'm like, just
Yeah.
maybe if we don't make it weird, then
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
you're-
weird.
You're emphasizing it by reacting to it at that
Yeah.
time. If you don't, then it's not a thing, and then it's normalized instead of it being. Yeah.
And you think about it, like there aren't that many sex scenes in any movie, like most movies, that are actually memorable and that you just like remember, because most of them as an adult you're just like, oh, this is just trashy, like filling in like whatever, trying to get horny teenagers to go. And it's like nowadays sex scenes are such a weird thing because the internet exists, so like nobody goes in, like people like when we were kids would go into movies like, oh my god, I get to see her boobs, or
Like
whatever, you know?
I remember Swordfish because there was like an interview with Halle Berry before, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Go see the movie because then you'll get to see these." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That is that's our takeaway. Like we're going to see this movie just because you're topless in this movie." I can't believe this is the selling point of this movie. Like I
I still
liked that
think that-
movie, but it wasn't just to
I
see
s-
Halle Berry boobies.
Yeah.
I still think the selling point in that movie is him having to hack a thing while getting a blowjob.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
That movie is John. That was like the end of like that was like right before everyone in Hollywood didn't like John Travolta for a while. Like
Yeah.
he had like a terrible outfit and like he was the villain in the movie, and yeah, but that movie was wild.
I liked it.
I want to say the comic books store owner, which it really looks like they were friends with a comic book store in, I guess, Louisiana, because that's where this, like at the very end there's like a Louisiana.
I have the perfect location. Let's just
Yeah.
use John's shop. Okay, cool.
And he's like got the Warhammer stuff on his wall, and like just like a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards and stuff like that. And like this is the most, like they just went into a comic book store and shot for like an hour, and everyone was happy. And
Wouldn't
it made
you
me
be?
giggle. I mean, that guy just reminded me of this guy who used to be on this podcast about Hearthstone, and his name is Garrett something, and I'm just like, it looks like they just took him and put him directly into this fucking film. How did that motherfucker, though, by the way, this is a real question, how did he use the pen to make all that money, and his like Russian bride, and one of the dumbest lines of the entire movie. I could have made her speak English, but who wants that ass?
He doesn't have an
I-
Elgato mic. That's why.
Does he? Did he like? We never saw him do that,
No,
right? Like he just had it. Do you have to draw with it, or can you just write with it? Like I want money.
I don't know, and they don't. Well, because they at least set it up that he made comics too, but they didn't like. They didn't like
He
show
owns
him or
the store,
anything.
so yeah, I just
I mean,
assumed.
but plenty of people own comic book stores, Josh, that don't make comic books.
I know a few, and they all do, which is very. It's just a thing. They're that into
Calgary's-
it that they own a store and they also have their own comic. It's kind of I just assumed
Calgary's-
it's all people that own a fucking comic store somehow. Have you seen my comic on the side? Right here.
I just laughed at that character. I think that he dude, it is literally, it's like he's the most like Disney Channel thing ever. God damn it, Josh. Like, everything else in this movie, besides the mother, like the mother is the Disney like queen villain character, right? But
And she got her comeuppance at the end. Like she really died at the end. She had the best
think they-
death.
Yes, I agree.
would-
She
yeah.
definitely, they showed her. It's like, you know what? The audience really wants you to die, so you have to get chomped, and we're gonna show it. Unlike unlike anyone else, where they just go in their bubbles and then they're red bubbles.
Or the shark would always jump out and kind of do that like side swipe and then
Do the tail.
yeah, the tail. What did y'all think about like what they were setting up to try to trap the shark, like the Home Alone sequence? Like
so my thought was that with that, I was like, they're shooting this thing, just turning it left or right, but every shot of the turkeys is going a different distance. I was like, how is it like they shoot it, they don't turn it, they change it anything like how they're winding this thing up, but it's always going exactly where the shark is.
Because that's the only clip they could have rendered.
Dude, my favorite one was the last one where it just went plump. It went like I don't even.
You could
I'm
just
not gonna
see
say
the
what I was gonna
editing.
say.
It's just like, oh shit, we don't have. Whatever. Let's just use this. It wasn't
yeah,
like,
like it worked out.
unlike
My camera froze. Just a second.
what was it? The first one, Sky Sharks. You could
Mhm.
tell that the filmmaker or the director, the producer, writer, whatever, he was also the one doing it. It reminded me a lot of Kung Fury because that filmmaker, that's his background. He knew exactly what he needed before he went in front of a green screen and that's why everything is so amazing in Kung Fury because it was playing to his strengths. And then I felt a very similar vibe in Sky Sharks, whereas this movie, I felt the complete disconnect when you have someone that really doesn't know what they're doing and is probably a very nice person that can bring people together and have a good time because I felt that vibe in this movie. That's why it's cute. I feel like the director is probably someone who's cute. I don't know who directed it, but that person is probably cute. Just like a
It's
cute, fun person or something, you know?
It's like baby's first intro to a shark movie. Like a movie you can watch with your kids or like you want to have like, okay, let's watch a scary Halloween movie.
Let's
and
snuggle.
Let's watch Santa Jaws.
So-
And like, it's not as bad as like watching, I don't know, Deep Blue Sea or Jaws for your first time.
Blue Sea. Yeah.
I
see,
was
that
gonna
has
say,
a-
Josh is talking about. Are You Afraid of the Dark? There was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that traumatized me way more than this movie ever would
100%.
as a kid.
yes.
Like, was it the clown
Okay.
was chasing a kid around in one of the episodes, like, and like his hand was going underneath the door or something
Oh,
like
I think
that?
I
and-
remember that.
yeah.
So the
That
director
movie- that
is
show was awful.
Misty. Her name is Misty Tally,
Mhm.
and she's so cute. You can tell she's just like, "Hey guys, let's have fun."
I make cute movies.
She's
There's
so
like
cute.
I feel like the movie felt consistent to me, like from start to finish. And I didn't feel like it got I don't know. There's some like of the emotional moments that they tried to squeeze in there, but it felt pretty like action packed for the most
no.
part.
Yeah.
She edited Jeepers Creepers 3.
That's when I saw that, and I'm just like,
Oh. Oh no. Sorry.
I
Stay
don't-
away
I
from
haven't
that.
seen that.
Katie, do
I
you know?
haven't-
Well,
I know about Jeepers Creepers director. If that's what you're, I avoid those films like a plague.
Dude,
honestly,
And everyone does.
That-
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
movie, that movie, the first Jeepers Creepers was one of those movies where the ending was so bad that I generally started to I hated the entire experience because of it.
Mm.
And
I just
then
like
you
Justin Long and the no eyes. That was kind of cool.
nope. Nope. It's one of those like, dude, the ending of a movie can make such an impact. Like, it's why I love Saw, the original Saw, so much, because the ending of that movie is just like, like the first time you see it, you're just like, and like it's got that thing where it leaves that fucking impact on you, and it's just like you
The
shit.
thing
bed
I
on
like
the
about
ending.
James Wan though, he didn't like he started his career with getting, insanely huge buzz off of Saw, but he didn't go on and pull an M. Night Shyamalan where he's like, oh, now I have to be known for the twist ending and I have to force it into all my movies. He's smart. He's now made billions of dollars for Warner Brothers, and yeah, he is a huge name, and he is going to be a huge name for always. So yeah, I love James Wan.
I have to ask you guys though, did you think they were trying to set up a sequel for this film, like at the very end?
Kinda.
Yeah.
They were laying the groundwork in case it ever came up. I think.
Yeah, they're like, maybe. Well, dude, we watched, Katie, we literally watched one of the movies that is actually kind of almost as bad as Sharks of the Corn a couple weeks ago, called
Oh, no.
Fog City, which
Yeah, but
I haven't heard of that.
There was boobies in there, so I was okay.
Wasn't there boobies in Sharks of the Corn?
Yeah, but there was. Well, it's not. Yeah, maybe was there?
I
But
think there was.
I don't think they were as nice of boobies, but yes, I think there were. I think there was a prostitute at some point in that shit show of a film. Also, I have to like commend this woman for making this movie an hour and 28 minutes, just fucking nailing that pacing and just not like overdoing it. That's one of the biggest fucking things with Sharks of the Corn. It was like over an hour and 40 minutes long. I'm like,
Yeah, but
you
when
thought
it's a movie like that, there was no rhyme or reason or anything. This one, like Katie said, it's consistent throughout. It knew what it
Yeah.
was, all the beats it was trying to hit, and it did it, and it was cute in its whatever. Whereas Sharks of the Corn, they had no idea what they were doing the entire time. They were just pointing a camera at shit, and then when they got into the editing room, they were too precious with everything. They're like, wow, we filmed all this shit. Let's just show everyone the entire thing and not edit anything out.
I thought you were talking about Terrifier 2 there for a second, Josh. I mean,
Terrifier
I've
2
never
was
seen-
awesome.
A Terrifier movie, but I'm curious. But I've heard that they're an experience.
oh, so okay, this is what I'll tell you, Katie. Both movies are overblown by people who don't watch horror movies, who've gotten pulled into this. But the first one has a kill that is
Don't do it.
forever,
Don't do it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
will ever forever. I'm not gonna.
I
ruin
met
it,
her too. The
Yeah.
infamous
Yeah,
girl from
but
the first
it has
one. Like
it
I
has
was
one
taking
of
her
the
picture at the HorrorCon, and
gnarliest kill
yeah.
scenes you will ever see in any horror movie. That you're just like, but
they
the first,
did it on purpose. And the
Yeah.
second one goes and tries to do that with a
It did-
scene as well. They're
it-
like
it
they're
did
known
it-
for like really like crossing a line on purpose and pissing a lot of people off by doing it
Yeah.
because
But
that's
So
what
this-
they're- yeah.
so the first one isn't a very good movie. But the second
No.
one is a pretty good movie. It just goes. They could have taken a half an hour.
Half
out
an
of
hour,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a
of
lot
I
of
do
movies
agree.
seem to do that nowadays.
Um,
They're too
I-
long.
It was a slasher, Katie, that was 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It
What is
was
this, the Marvel
yeah,
universe?
yeah, exactly. It was just like I was like, guys, you could have, and I'm not even kidding you. They could have taken 20 minutes out of that movie easily. A half an hour would have been a little bit harder, but they could have. It's just like, guys, this movie was edited better than Terrifier 2.
What would they take out?
Dude, every scene went on for a minute or too long, like
Yeah,
just
I
like
guess.
getting drawn out, man. And that's what this is like.
They
This
really
movie,
like art.
Yeah, but this movie is like
That's the clown.
the act.
Art the clown.
Nothing. Yeah, the clown guy. But this movie, what I love about it is just like it knows what it is and embraces it. Right? It doesn't ever like it. The actors all kind of ham it up a little bit. They're like this is a movie about a shark called Santa Jaws that we can't take seriously, but we're going to. It has that like heart and like. And it seems like it was almost like we get to go make a movie for like a week in Louisiana somewhere, which the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, this is like the most Florida horror movie of all time, but it was.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I wonder why they chose Louisiana.
I'm guessing it was cheap to do because like they wanted to do it. I mean, obviously you need water because it's a shark movie, right? So
Yeah.
like, so it was probably cheaper or. Well, like what we were just talking about, this director Misty, she like doesn't one of her other movies called like something about like
It's like Mississippi Shark something.
Yeah, so it seems like she's very like southern, so like so
Mississippi River Sharks.
Yeah,
from
Mississippi River.
2017.
So doesn't the Mississippi River go into Louisiana? I think, right? So I don't know. I'm very bad with geography, but like. You just have to wonder if that's what it is. Like she's from like we talked about.
She's made nothing but TV movies: Shark Island, Squad Sharks, Mississippi River Sharks, and Santa Jaws. So
she made Santa Jaws. Santa Jaws is not a TV movie, Josh.
I know, but before it could have been. So I think that's why it felt so much like a TV movie.
Yeah,
because she only made TV movies before, probably using the same camera that you said, a TV camera. We've cracked the code. We cracked it.
We did. I mean, she's obviously from the South because she's also edited a movie called Christmas in Mississippi, and Christmas in Louisiana. It looks
and
like
New Orleans. New Orleans Noel.
It looks like she does like the
made for TV
Lifetime channel or something like that.
They
right?
pump those out. I don't know how they do that.
Oh,
I don't know.
You want to know how they do
them.
that? They fucking. They have the same movies that they make over and over and over again, and like they get people like I don't know. I've canceled like my Netflix and shit, but like my wife would watch like the Christmas Princess, like all 6 movies that came out every year about like a different timeline of the Christmas princesses, and it's just like yeah.
I can't watch the Lifetime or the Hallmark ones. They're too. They don't feel fulfilling.
Yeah.
So I can't.
It's a waste of time. We're busy. We're all doing shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other more entertaining things to do.
If I'm doing something else and I need background noise, maybe, but not if I want to spend my time. Not to put them down because I feel kind of bad because I know people work hard on those things.
No,
but
put them down. Shit on their movies, Katie.
They're just not
take
for
a dump.
Katie, I heard what you did to Pulp Fiction. You're allowed to shit on
Dude,
those type of movies.
So many problems with Pulp Fiction.
Oh, I had to go. Okay, like if you're not, it's so funny to me, like to watch things like for the first time, like because there's so many movies that people are like, oh, like. The first time I watched The Godfather, I was like, yeah, okay, I can see why people like this, but that was fucking long. And that was my takeaway. I'm like, that was long. And they're like, that's the greatest fucking movie. And I'm just like, oh. And I had a friend come out of nowhere. I haven't talked to him in like well over 10 plus years. He came out of nowhere on Facebook, sent me this long message. Hey man, I was just thinking about you the other day. It'd be really cool to like, link up and blah, blah, blah. But it got me thinking because I knew you were always a huge fan of Death by Stereo. So I gave him a listen for the first time. And man, do they suck dick. They are the worst shit I've heard ever. And just like this message out of nowhere, long message. And it's like, because I have a Death by Stereo tattoo and everything. But I'm like, honestly, I would, if I had never heard them before and it was only now, I would be in the exact same boat. But because they were that band that was like a bridge to heavier music for me, because of the time they came out, I was only into punk rock. They were punk rock with some screams, and it bridged the gap into metal and hardcore and heavier stuff for me. I'm like, you don't have that nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I totally get it and can agree with you on
Dude,
points,
that's
but
happened with
hilarious.
that's happened with me a lot. Like The Exorcist is not a scary movie in 2023. It's a really well.
But if you saw it when it
and everything
first
like,
came
yeah.
out, like,
Yeah.
wow.
Just same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, dude. I'm like, it's a really well done movie. It's not fucking scary. I'm sitting there going, I think I will.
Everyone's
I-
desensitized now.
Dude,
Yeah.
I will forever say Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 I prefer over Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I know I'm the crazy person, and I actually prefer Exorcist 3 over Exorcist, but that is just my crazy self, which has the most notorious jump scare of all time in it, Katie. So it's a pretty wonder. The Exorcist 3 is just a cool movie because like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, they do something completely different that
Mhm.
is just like not like the original, and it is. I think it's a fucking and Brad Dourif's in it, so that's fucking dope. So like that's one of those things I'm like really cool with. But like you do something like that, you build up a movie, and it's like Blade Runner is another one. I mean, Katie, you've done this on your podcast. You watch these movies that are just like people build up and build up.
Was
and build
there
up.
any movie from back in the day that you're actually like, holy shit, okay, I get it? Or have they mostly all been like, why?
I have to look. One of the things I always feel bad about too is that with the movie podcast, like I'm more critical of things than I normally would be if I'm just like watching a film.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, my last 2 seasons have been me like kind of shitting a lot of films, but I'm going through the list now to see if there's any that.
Send me
People
your
build-
favorite movie. Let me take a dump on it.
And that's kind of what's been happening. I gotta say, I'm going through like I've seen a lot of movies now. I've seen The Exorcist. I haven't seen any of the follow-ups. I've seen Texas Chainsaw. That was just on my own time, but I haven't seen any of the follow-ups to that one. I'm looking through the list to see if there's any movie that like actually made me go, I get it. Weirdly, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I
Dude,
really enjoyed.
That movie
like-
is fucking depressing though. Like I saw that once, and it's just,
Oh,
like it is
I
like
really liked it.
when John Candy is like he basically tells him at the very end of the movie that like he's alone and his wife died, and he's like, it is like soul crushing. You're like, it's the thing where I don't know. You guys could agree with this or not, but like that's the kind of stuff as I've gotten older, it's just like it hits in a fucking spot that it's like you're just like stuff that you don't get as a kid, man.
Yeah.
That you just like. And I'm not saying the world's the worst place. I'm just saying that like life experiences make those things go, oh shit, man. It's like did either one of you guys, Katie, I know you haven't because I know how you talk about Marvel, but the new season of Loki, like I got dumped, and there's like a line in it, like with like 3 or 4 episodes in the second season where he's talking about how nothing worth doing is like, he goes on this whole speech about how life is hard and how like nothing worth doing is easy. And it's just, I'm watching it and like, my heart's broken at this point in time. And I'm just like, and it's like, it's that like sense of connection with stuff like that like I don't think makes as much of a like a real world connection when you're younger for a lot of people, not everyone, because there are people obviously that have gone through stuff, but like it's that stuff that you kind of like, you know,
Well, after
grow
a big
into.
event, that, you know, a lot of things start to bookmark. You start
Yeah.
to listen to the lyrics more when you're going through a rough time or you're alone or of songs, and like it's like, oh man, when you're younger and you're not really paying attention, it's just like, oh yeah, I like the beat or like whatever. And then the older I got and had kind of pivotal moments in my life, I'm just like, what the fuck? How did I like this song? I see way too eye to eye with these lyrics now, and it's heartbreaking, and
Dude.
I don't like this song anymore.
Dude, the whole new Beartooth album that came out a couple months ago, is why I kind of got inspired by the Beartooth. Like, there's a grizzly bear in my forearm now, but like the whole album fucking tracks through the shit I've been through in the last few months, and I'm just like, what? Because it's just weird when that shit registers like that, you know? It's
What was it like? Wait, what was it like?
Yeah,
Okay. Yep. Okay.
But there's a lot. Katie, like, if you haven't listened to Katie hasn't seen that, it is wonderful. Sometimes just go in knowing that Katie may destroy things that like you hold dear to your heart.
Where
Like,
do you watch it?
It's just
It's
a
a podcast,
podcast.
yeah.
The next season is going to be video and podcast, but there's movies I can appreciate why people love them. Like, okay, like kind of like what you're talking about, Rod. I love the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my favorite Christmas film. I grew up and as a kid, I loved it. And then there's that Love Is Gone song in it that when Scrooge and his fiance are like breaking up. Like that hits so different now as an adult than when you're a child.
Yeah.
And so I think there's just things maybe planes, trains, and automobiles hit different because I had a different appreciation for
yeah.
what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
It's
feel
fun
like some
going
of
back to weird movies that you saw as a kid and were seeing through like the kids' eyes and like the characters that you were like, oh yeah, those parents are assholes. And then you go back and watch it. Me now as a parent and an older person, it's like, oh man, those kids are fucking assholes.
I still always remember like Shrek, where like Robin Hood's singing, and it sounds like he wants to get head, and like it's gets ahead or whatever, but it sounds like he wants to get head, and we're like, what the fuck? And I mean, dude, I still go down to this day that the Little Mermaid, the little priest who was marrying them at the end of that movie, got a boner. It looks like there's a fucking
I saw that.
I mean, hey, you cut
They cut it out in the newer versions.
Yeah, but and then in the original VHS cover, one of the towers was definitely a cock, and you're just like,
I have it on VHS, so I can grab it.
I've heard that.
Right now.
Is it true, or is it conspiracy theory, or is it something where like they're saying the artists were actually drawing in like the phallic images and stuff?
And
dude,
the sex.
In The Lion King.
In Lion King,
In
like
the
it's
crowd.
there. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing like an article on that years ago, and then they had like all the screenshots and stuff, and I was like, that does look suspicious to me.
Right?
Okay, this Disney the company. I don't know if we were talking about this on the podcast, but the have you ever heard the conspiracy theory that they made the movie Frozen? So that
I've heard this. Yes.
Whenever
I love it.
You Google Frozen, Walt or Disney, it doesn't bring up things about Walt Disney's frozen head in it. And it's just like, these motherfuckers right here. These motherfuckers right here. They have all the money in the world.
They were smart at one point, and it's not working anymore.
I still think it's funny that Katie liked American Psycho way more than I thought she was going to when she did it.
I did like that. That one was surprising.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
But I thought you were PG when I first met you. I was like, oh, so are we not swearing on this episode because Katie's coming on?
No, I curse a lot. I definitely don't feel like I'm PG. If anything, I feel like I'm pushing R on stream.
Katie, you in the 3+ years I've known you have like gone from PG-13 to R. Like you were PG-13 when I first started hanging out in your community, but like you've kind of like you stopped
I don't
like
care
on
as
screen
much anymore.
Yeah, you don't stop like blurring yourself and stuff like that, and it's just like, well, dude, it's sitting there going,
oh, did you used to do this?
Oh yeah, I would do that all the time. I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. The Go XLR has a bleep button, which is just I would use it just for comedic effect, where I was just like, no.
Yeah, I like when people use it right after the swear word, like you say it and then it's on. Like that's just funny to me. There's a Instagram guy or TikTok or whatever. He just does like weird random skits that are so stupid but really funny, and he always does that. He'll like say the swear and it beeps right after. I love it.
Yeah. What's the whole thing where like you do the late night shows do the unnecessary yeah, where they just make them seem like the dirty shit, and as I hit my tattoo and hurt myself. But no.
Did you use Aquaphor yet?
I haven't taken this fucking sheet off since I got the tattoo. Not till tomorrow, man, and I'll take it off. It's a fucking bonkers.
Aquaphor.
Dude, there's like a sheet of plastic on my arm.
I know.
And it's been
Just make sure you use Aquaphor. Use it.
Yeah.
Thank me later.
Yeah.
Are you gonna use Aquaphor? Because it seems like you're kind of maybe not gonna.
I'm just gonna use lotion. I don't know if it's Aquaphor, but
No, use Aquaphor, not lotion.
you're supposed to use scentless lotion.
No, you're fucking not, dude.
And that's what my tattoo artist told me
well,
fucking
fuck
on
her,
Friday.
man. Seriously, use Aquaphor and heal it correctly, and don't use lotion. Aquaphor
Where do you all fit on this debate?
Aquaphor
Sound off in-
is a healing agent. It's not lotion. It will heal your tattoo literally
gonna
10
heal-
times faster.
I'm gonna
10 times
heal your nose, Josh, with my
Aquaphor.
butt. Yeah.
I have
I'm
your
gonna do it.
address. I will fucking send you some Aquaphor if you don't.
Did you ever get my T-shirt, by the way, that I sent to you, Josh?
Not yet.
Okay. So Josh designed my new logo-y thing, and I made T-shirts with it, and then I don't even have one, and I sent Josh one, and Ken bought one, so.
You got to buy your own shirts, man. See, I'm wearing my.
I've never
It's
bought
so
my own anything.
That's what I like, because I used to offer my services to streamers and stuff. I don't. I help friends, and my payment is more of my work. It's just like, yeah, I'll have more. I found the box because over the years I've been doing this for a long time for bands, for local skateboard shops, and like other things. I have a box filled with like literally over 100 plus T-shirts from over the years that I've designed, and it's like, fuck, I can't keep all of these. There's too many. But
Yeah.
they're like trophies to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Stuff just has sentimental value, or like this meant something, and so I want to hold on to it. But then you lose space for stuff eventually. It's hard going through clothes and getting rid of anything.
Yeah. Oh, it's.
I did
not.
a 10-year dump, like a couple or a month, because I took my whole closet apart and did the like IKEA pack system and made a new like awesome closet. So I was like, this is the time. This is when I have to do it. And I got rid of, I think, literally 4 jumbo size garbage bags filled with crap. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
Was
my
it
God.
freeing?
Oh, I
was gonna say,
felt
like, that-
honestly like 50 pounds lighter because I literally got rid of 50 pounds
Yeah.
of clothes. So it was good.
Okay. Do we have anything else we want to say about Santa Jaws? This movie, I just think Josh nailed it. Like and Kate, you guys both have nailed it. Like it knows what it is, embraces it, and doesn't like ever like shy away from. If you're gonna make a movie about a fucking Santa Jaws, like just embrace it being silly, and that's what they did. Like I also was I the only one who saw this kid and thought of Edward Furlong the entire fucking time?
Oh, he did kind of look like him.
Yeah, it's that. So I have talked about it on the podcast
Edward
before.
Furlong.
The kid
Who's
from
that?
Terminator 2.
Oh, right. Vibes. Like his
Yeah.
longer hair,
Yeah,
but he's like the YTV equivalent of Edward Furlong. So.
yeah. Don't you remember when Brian and Andy came on from Dead of Santa Carla, where Brian hates Terminator 2 because of because of Edward Furlong? I don't know
was
how
that?
anyone could hate Terminator 2. But
Was that like
here we
really
are.
early on?
That was like the first like 10 episodes. Yeah. That
Oh
was a long
yeah, I
time.
was.
Yeah.
How many episodes have you done now? Oh, it
This
says
is
right there,
160.
106.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we're doing
That's when I was smoking a lot of weed. I haven't smoked
Yeah.
weed in almost 3 years. So yeah,
yeah, we're
I don't
doing a
remember
movie
that
called
episode.
It's a Wonderful Knife next week. And then for episode 169, we're doing Teeth. Do you know about Teeth, Katie? The movie
I
Teeth?
feel like I've heard about teeth and that it's kind of fucked up.
Vagina
Vagina
dentata.
dentada.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
I made it like halfway, or I made it through like the first penis being removed, and I was just like, I don't.
They're
I mean-
making everything nowadays.
Yeah.
That was a long. That movie came out a while ago. I watched it with my high school sweetheart.
Teeth? How old is
Yeah.
this? Hold on. I've heard of it. I thought it was like a newer movie.
Not really. It came out like 10 years ago.
Oh, 2007. So
2007.
like, yeah.
Oh, almost 20 years ago, actually. So,
when I was in my hardcore.
Okay. Katie, anything else you want to see about Santa Jaws before we get out of here?
It's not the best shark movie you could watch, but it's not the worst.
No.
It's festive and
And
Fun.
we've seen both.
fun. And yes, we've seen both, so we're a good judge of that. It was fine. Like it was Santa Jaws. And
Dude, would you agree it's the second best shark movie we've seen besides like Sky Sharks?
yes, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Top 2.
Yep. It's at least, dude. It's entertaining. It might not be like I said, like you said. It's not.
We
like,
have
it
to
knows-
watch a really good one. We have to, Katie.
Okay, at
I
some
know.
point, then we have Katie come back and we talk about Jaws, because
Have
we
Have you
could
guys
do
not done Jaws yet?
No, I mean the point
We're-
of the show
we're
is
saving
been like
it.
is like independent
Free.
and independent and foreign horror. So like we
Yeah.
don't.
I can't wait to shit all over your favorite movie.
It's not my favorite. It just changed the course of my life.
That's what Death by Stereo did for me. And someone
Yeah.
just shit all over my
Yeah.
Yes.
Jaws was
It-
a pivotal moment in my life, and I've never been the
Dude.
same. So
It
Dude,
was
I-
that for me, actually.
Katie, have you?
'Cause- Yeah.
Did you ever dive into the Jaws sequels? By the way,
oh
Because-
yeah, I've seen them all.
I made it halfway through the one with Michael Caine where he admitted he did it for the paycheck and it bought him a nice house where like
I love that soundbite.
the-
It's such a good soundbite.
the sharks follow them to Jamaica to like
Oh my, that's the third one. Jaws: The
No.
Revenge.
no, that's the fourth one. The third one is
Was
the
the
one
3D one?
at
Jaws
like
3D, yeah.
SeaWorld or
That
at
one's
SeaWorld
bad.
where the shark like makes a lion like roar.
And this is the
It's-
fifth one, Santa Jaws.
Yeah, this is Santa Jaws. This is the fifth canonically.
Dude, you get far enough into fucking like I still remember a couple 3 or 4 years back I was like I'm gonna watch the Leprechaun movies and I'm like the first
Oh,
one's
there's
bad
so
but
many.
it's fun. Isn't
Isn't that the one with Jennifer Aniston in it?
Yeah, it was like her
Yeah.
first movie. And then when I got to the fourth one with the
What about the Snoop Dogg one?
That's Leprechaun in the hood or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that
when
one's
he,
great.
When he goes into space, the CG
Yeah.
is just the worst stuff I've ever seen, and I couldn't even do it. I was like, nope, I'm done. Cannot do this. It looks like they didn't finish rendering the spaceships. And shit. Okay, Josh.
Okay.
was
No,
gonna say,
I was gonna say sometimes movies just got to do the best they can with what they got.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to say about Santa Jaws, Josh? That's a real affirmative comment, Josh. Thanks. I approve.
Honestly, like that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, like
Dude,
don't watch
it's-
it. Like, you're gonna go out of your way. Just don't.
It's gateway horror, though, dude. I think this movie is accessible horror. It's something we talk about all the time, Josh. I think this movie is accessible horror, and I think it's fun. I would. There are a bunch of other Christmas horror movies I would imply like push people to first. Like
I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about the whole like physical media thing lately. If you're gonna pull something out and put it in, just pull the one next to it out and then put that one in instead, and you're
Yep.
probably gonna be happy.
Yep, it's true.
I don't know.
Okay,
It's not. If this is on in passing, you're gonna sit down and watch it, and it's good enough.
have a good time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next week we're doing "It's a Wonderful Knife." Kin should be back. So which has Justin Long in it, and
Nice.
who the fuck else was in?
I
this
haven't
movie that-
watched the trailer, and I know nothing about it, so I'm excited.
I started watching it and made it like 15 minutes in, but I had the ADHD.
The poster makes it
attack.
look like they're ripping off the Malignant knife.
It looks like that a little bit. Yeah, the knife
Yeah.
does a little bit. Do you ever see Malignant, Katie?
I didn't. I had it on my watch list. Then the service I had it on got rid of it, and then I stopped. I forgot about it.
Dude, it
There's
is.
another service.
I
Yeah.
know. I forget about that sometimes.
I love that movie unapologetically because
It's
it's
so wacky.
yeah.
It's James Wan, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I enjoy his movies, and I've had that one like, oh, I should really watch that, and then I just forget it exists.
So I'm not going to ruin
Wacky.
it, but there's a point that it loses a lot of people, And actually, it's one of those movies that you watch again. And I say this because I enjoyed it so much. And you go, oh, everything makes way more sense. It's still a little wonky with that, but yeah, I love Malignant. I will never not love Malignant. That movie's fucking incredible. And I think people, when they make a movie, like kind of like this movie where they're like, we're going to take this, we're going to, it's not going to be completely serious, but like it's shot like a B horror movie. And
it was James Wan going, all right, Warner Brothers, I just made you so much fucking money. Give me whatever I want, and I'm going to have fun doing horror because I'm James Wan. And they're like, okay. And like those overshots, like they built a whole set for this movie just so he could go above it and film it like above. And I'm like, this is so cool. It looks amazing. And it's, he's just having so much fun.
I'll get it on the list to watch soon because I remember the trailer having like those like POV things.
So cool.
Did you see John Wick 4, Josh? Because
No.
I know Katie has.
I haven't seen it yet.
There is. It just reminds me. There's a entire action scene where they're like moving through this building, and it's overhead like that, and it's shot so incredibly cool.
That movie's just as soon as it starts, it doesn't stop, and then it's over,
like,
and you're like,
it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Yeah, but it's just, it is nonstop. As soon as it starts, like the action doesn't stop until the end.
You think about,
and you're like, what the fuck, man?
It's
I'm
like the
out of
3
breath.
and like 2, 3, and 4 are like, actually, it's like really all of them, but like there's like it's just like action.
I love that it's Keanu being old and they leave in everything. So like the stuff that is like not so like whimsical or whatever, it's just like it's loose, it's whatever, and you're just like, that was one take, and they were just like, fuck it, let's just leave it in. It's badass. I'm like, wow.
Seen the first 3, and then we're gonna watch the 4th one at some point in the next couple of weeks because I haven't seen them. So
2 hours 45 minutes. Yep, it's
I'm
a little long. Yeah,
a snack and
yeah. Well, dude, it's like
intermission.
The Winter Flower Killer movie that just came out. I
want to watch it.
I was when I was in Reno. I was like, I want to go to an IMAX movie because I had never seen a movie in IMAX, and that was the only one. It's 3 hours and 30 movie.
But I'm Canadian.
So okay, Katie. Tell everyone they could find you, and you're lovely, and we appreciate you coming back, you lovely being. And let everyone know.
Thanks for having me. I'm Katie Peters Plays. You just go to katiepetersplays.tv. Takes you to my Twitch, my podcast, Quantum Drive, which is about the TV show The Orville with my friend Rob. And Katie hasn't seen that. All their links are there, as well as links to all my socials, and I'm there 3 times a week. So come say hello.
If those motherfuckers actually bring that show back, I want to come talk about that show because of you, I watched the 3 seasons and
makes me happy you watched it.
Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, MacFarlane. It gets a lot of shit, man. But the way they handle trans, the trans storyline with the aliens in that show is so well done.
Which one?
The one character is from this race that is.
What show though? What are you talking about?
The Orville.
The Orville.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But like he's from this race that like is all males, but like occasionally they have like females are born. And
so how did you land that, Katie? I wanted to ask you, how did you land that the show thing that you were?
They just started. She started it, and then made a lot of connections, right?
Yeah, my friend Rob and I just were like, hey, we really like Star Trek. And so the Orville came out. We're like, it's kind of like a Star Trek show, like we wanted. And then one day we were just DMing and it was like, let's make a podcast. And we kind of were like, yeah. And then I sent him a DM once where I'm like, let's actually do it. And we started doing it. And then I don't know how, but we met the producer from the show and just a couple people. And like, from there, we were able to do some really cool stuff with it. So I'm really hoping they make more because I feel like they handle storylines really well and they delve deeper into things than just like jokes and silliness. Like they actually tackle stuff and they don't tell you how to think. They tell you, like, kind of present information in a very beautiful way. So when you were like, I'm watching it, I was like, yes. And I love that episode, A Tale of Two Topas.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, you're like, oh, the aliens. I'm like, oh, the Mocklins, because I like know so much about the show.
I'm bad with names and shit like that. So, but like, yeah, it's
Rod
that
and
show-
I. Our ADHD doesn't allow it. It's
I have that with most things. With the Orville, a lot of stuff stuck.
Yeah. So follow Katie if you haven't, because she's wonderful and she's amazing people. JoshWRB.com. Me, I'm Rod_Johnston on Twitch and Twitter and all those places. Follow me. Watch the Fallen show on YouTube, which is on the Wandering In show. And we have one episode left, which comes out next week, which will be like, 3 days after this. And murdermoose.com and Kintinue.com. So go to those places and find our stuff. So thank you for being here, Katie. You're wonderful as always. And we will catch you guys next week for It's a Wonderful Knife.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.